happening, guys? It's episode 15, based in reality. I'm Mike J, of course, and I do have a kitty today. His name is Ellie. He's been on a video before. Um, he's my little buddy. He's the one that always hangs out on my neck, and my dog is trying to hang out with him right now, but trying to keep her down because she'll start chasing him and trying to get him to come down. But anyways, so there was a story in the news today or yesterday in my city, and I know a lot of cities in the States, this isn't a big deal, but here it is because this is very uncommon here. One of our people that were running for city council here got in a little bit of hot water. He's a younger guy. He's, I think, like a bit younger than me, maybe around my age. And apparently on his social media, it said something along the lines of trans women aren't real women, they're trans women. And the public, obviously, it wasn't mostly people from here. It was people that just saw the story that were freaking out and telling him he needed to apologize. Well, he explained what he said. He said, I'm sorry if it offended people, but trans women are not real women. And people are still mad at him, obviously. The reason I say it's a big deal for my city is because this stuff doesn't happen generally. Not that it doesn't exist, because obviously there's this creepy little trans community here that came out of the woodwork for this. This fucking, I don't know what this thing is. It was, it looked like a preemie baby all grown up. And it was saying, you're taking away from the experience of trans women. No, he's not. What he said was they're not biological women, essentially, which he's not wrong. And this is considered hate speech, I get. But yeah, it's just like this isn't a commonplace for here. And I deal with a lot of the weirdos online, but generally when it comes to Windsor, there's not many of these people. And like I said, he's not wrong. And the thing that I found the funniest was it said she identifies as trans non-binary. Now, non-binary and trans kind of conflict, do they not? Because trans is man in a woman's body or woman in a man's body. And non-binary means you don't identify either way. And this whole thing is just fucking stupid to me. Because if you notice, the non-binaries are always the ones that were the ugly kid in grade 9 that had no friends, nobody cared to talk to because they were weird as fuck, disgusting. And then all of a sudden they go, well, trans is kind of popular, so maybe I should go to that way, and I'll identify as non-binary. They're the old goth kids. Remember the old goth kids that they were weird, so they were weird and nobody liked them, so they embraced it and became more weird and more non-liked, except by their peers that were like, oh, hey, another goth kid. That's what they are. They're trendies. They hop onto something that's counterculture, which trans isn't even counterculture anymore. But they hop onto something where they'll get praise from certain people, and they'll get praise for doing nothing. For being unlikable, they'll get praise. And I know there's a sect of conservatives that don't like the trans, and I don't mind that. I mean, if you don't like them, you don't like them. That's your thing, man. But people like Blair White and Edie Dixon, these people, whether or not you agree with trans people, they are still they're still adhering to the binary of men and women. they're both men that were born, but I mean, I think Edie was intersex at birth. I could be wrong, and I'm sorry if I fucked that up, Edie, because Edie's a nice person. But they were males, and they felt as if they were females, and they decided to, transition into female. But there's still a, a, a somewhat basis in binary there. They thought they were a man, but thought that they were a woman, and they became a woman. And neither one of those two will ever say, no, I'm a biological woman. Those two have enough sense to say, no, I'm a trans woman. I was a man, and now I'm a woman. That's fine. And they're not wrong either. But these people that are constantly just trying to pick fights with people. Like, I don't know if anybody had seen that. I can't remember if it was for Vice or one of those shows. They had like this little round table about all the different people on the spectrum. Well, Blair was there. She was the only, I think, actual trans woman that identifies as a woman and actually looks like a woman. They were so biased towards her. They were literally attacking her when she would try to make points. And it just goes to show that even them, they like these non-binary fucking genderqueer unicorn manatee whatever, they hate the spectrum. They hate the binary as well. So is it that most like the trans that identify as women that were born men, it seems like their opinion is worthless than the non-binaries? That's what it seems like. Unless you don't look like a woman. You identify as a woman, but you don't look like a woman. So you can be considered non-binary. Look at that Jessica. I'm not even going to say that. Daniel Yanev, whatever the fuck his name was, that sexual predator alleged. Whatever it was that debated Blair White. It looked like a guy. Smelled like a guy, I'm guaranteeing. It was fat, disgusting, hairy, wanted its balls waxed from a waxing place out west in Canada. And people were attacking Blair because she was calling out this Yanev thing, Jonathan Yanev. She was calling it out. So if you're a trans woman that looks like a woman, especially if you're white, your opinion is worth less than other people in the LGBT community. Interesting, right? And I find that so strange, but just kind of, I wanted to touch on that because of this stupid story in Windsor. Like I said, we don't hear about this stupid shit. This shit isn't commonplace here. I've only met maybe 2 or 3 trans people in my life in Windsor. One of them I worked with and at this call center back in the day. And he was nice. You could tell it was a girl trying to be a guy. So you kind of tried to be a little nice and you'd mess up all the time. That's what I did. And it was completely on accident. Just because our brains are so used to the binary. That's why this whole thing is so stupid. They're trying to shatter that and say, no, there's no difference. There is. Our brains pick up on it right away. And that's the whole point of people like Blair White. If you saw her out, you would say, yeah, that chick over there. And I'm sure people that may disagree with her, they probably, they probably call her a him, but then, it'll slip in conversation where they'll be like, well, she does that. I mean, because like she looks like a woman. Our brains are adjusted that way. But this seems like it's going to get bigger in Windsor. There's already been a couple cases now, and I really hope it doesn't. Because I like my city a lot. It's one of the last somewhat normal places in the world. I mean, not the world, I should say, in North America. It's one of the last cities that hasn't gone completely off the fucking rails yet. Now there is like this lefty podcast here that they're all about trans and Black Lives Matter issues, and they're not very popular. I mean, I don't think they have the same following as me, somebody that just started. But they're terrible. They're the worst. I think it's called This Is False. If you guys ever feel like checking out some shit show garbage. These people bring up old stories from like 10 years ago and then like comment on them. They talked about when Colbert called Windsor the Earth's armpit or the Earth's rectum or something. And they're like, well, this is what they say about Windsor. The story was years ago. Like, come on, get a grip. But yeah, this chick and her co-host, they blocked me too on Facebook. I think I was shit talking their stupid show and they blocked me. Well, I don't know if the guy blocked me, but the girl did, definitely. But yeah, it's hilarious. Anyways, yeah, I wanted to touch on that today because usually I've been all over on the BLM shit lately. That I do speak on more issues. I'm very vocal about many issues. But anyways, all right, guys, have a great day. And Ellie, do you want to say anything else, buddy? He's such a sweetheart. He just sits there. Just hangs out on me. Hey, want to say anything? No? All right. All right. Thanks, guys. What's happening, guys? I'm Mike J, of course. It's based in reality. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel and like and share the videos. It really helps. And keeping this thing growing and getting our movement huge on Parler right now. We got quite a few people on there, and it's looking good, looking strong. Because so many people are trying to avoid Twitter now. And my dog's barking about something. Yeah, so like I said, please subscribe to the channel. Anyways, so there's this word about this coup. And I'd been doing some reading on like Yugoslavia the last few weeks, Yugoslavia and the USSR and other empires like that. Now, there's many reasons why these things fall, and we know, it's mostly economic. It's people trying to get power. This American one is strange to me for this reason. When these superpowers fall, I mean, Yugoslavia wasn't a superpower, but when these powers fall, these big, conglomerate countries, a lot of it has to do with national identity, right? Like Yugoslavia, it was the Croatians and Serbs and Montenegrins, Macedonians, Kosovo, Serbia, wanting to retain their nationality and not be involved in like a big conglomerate. Now, I think this is the first time it's a country that doesn't have any official nationalities. Their nationality is the country. You may have backgrounds of, other things, but this was a place where people just came and turned it into a melting pot. You can argue the same thing about Yugoslavia and USSR, but this country and the US and Canada were not divided into separate countries and then taken over. It was taken over and people were coming here in droves because of the freedom that it was offered. And this time it's people wanting to identify with their national identities that aren't really their national identities. Like the blacks, they want to, have certain cities that are just theirs, which, whatever. If you want that, you want that. But it's just crazy to me because is that how it's going to end up falling? Is it going to be divided into different sections of different people? It's crazy because these countries were so like they were running so well, and it was literally just the people getting lazy and the people getting greedy, the people getting bored of how easy and everything is, and they want to destroy it themselves. I don't know if that's been done before. I mean, I've heard things about Rome, how they were, just kind of, it was good times, so people get lazy, and they say, tough times create tough men, and then, soft times create soft men. So I don't know if it's been done on this extent. A place that's given the world everything, including culture, and people just want to tear it down from the inside out. It's a very upsetting thing to happen as well because of how easy it was here, all the progress that was made. The country started off as a very basic republic. I'm talking about the U.S. right now. The basic republic, and ended up being the biggest, most powerful country in the world. And it's fixed mistakes that they've made, and they call it the Great Experiment, and it definitely is, because it started off, people owning slaves for their labor, and then eventually abolishing that. And then, the slaves that were here, they were given their rights, and then they were given, citizenship, and then they were able to do everything that anyone else could do. And the oppressed people at that time shifted the paradigm so much that they're now making millions of dollars and complaining that they're oppressed. These singers, basketball players, NFL players, making millions of dollars, more than money than most of us will ever see. And they're talking about how oppressed they are. The people that pay them their checks, they don't want them to call them the owners of the team, even though they own the team. Because they're that soft of people. These people should be grateful for the opportunities they've been given. They're making millions of dollars playing something that they love to do, like doing something that they absolutely love to do. And it's just very telling. Because the NHL, one of the only predominantly white sports, are not pulling this shit. So what does it say? What does that say? The two predominantly black sports. If blacks were really oppressed that badly, the NHL would be on board. It just goes to show you the agenda. All of these companies acting like they give a fuck. No, you're just pandering. You don't care. Amazon doesn't care about black people. You think Jeff Bezos gives a shit? The guy works 24 hours a day. You think he cares if somebody is getting hassled by the police? I doubt it. And I've never thought I would see something like this. You know, like a small population of people running and making the rules for society. And they've now stolen another good intentioned sentence and turned it into something bad. The first one was anti-fascist. We're Antifa, so we're the good guys. You're not. You're terrible. You attack innocents, and you canonize criminals and scumbags. And now it's Black Lives Matter. You've co-opted that. Now, the thing with anti-fascists is people owned that. They owned, okay, sure, I'm a fascist. I've said it many times. So now what's going to happen? In order to combat this, people are going to say Black lives don't matter. They've picked something where they win either way. I mean, I don't care. I'll say whatever. You want to say I'm a racist because I don't believe in Black Lives Matter? I fucking hate the organization. I think they're terrible. Scumbags. That's fine. But there's a lot of people out there that are scared to say that. They do this on purpose, man. This is not just, it didn't happen by accident that they're like, Black Lives Matter, and now we're going to do everything wrong. So people could have to say, Black Lives Matter is a bad organization, so Black lives don't matter. It's the same thing that they did with Antifa. Oh, you hate Antifa? That means you love fascists. It's scary. I mean, the right needs some marketing tips from them. Left can't meme, but the right can't market, obviously. Proud Boys. They got dinged saying that they're neo-fascists. But they're saying, we're proud and we're boys. Well, you can't be proud and you can't be boys. So that's where we are now. And if this coup does happen after the election, I don't know, man. It's getting close, and it's going to be scary times. These are some of the best times, but also some of the scariest times, because nobody knows what's going to happen. Anyways, guys, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that for a few minutes. Let me know what you think. Hit the comments. Please like the video, share the video, and please subscribe to the channel. Thanks, guys.